All right. Good morning, Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasevich. It's about 11:40 in the morning. Just finished up the weekly Carbon County Commissioners meeting. And for about the next 15 minutes, I'll go ahead and be live. Probably till maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm going to be live. I'm going to discuss for a couple minutes this week's County Commissioners meetings, any highlights that may have come from that meeting. Also, this is an opportunity for you to provide any input, make public comments as you deem fit and necessary. You can go ahead, go to the Facebook page, C4 Chris Carbon County Commissioner, and post your comments in there. So for about the next 15 minutes, I'm just going to be here reviewing the highlights of the Commissioners meeting. I will get started in just a minute or two. I want to make an opportunity or give an opportunity for some folks to go ahead and come online before I start talking about today's Commissioners meeting. And again, feel free to put your comments right in the chat function. As long as I can see them, I'll respond to them as best I can. Always, if necessary, I'm always available at any time, 22 hours a day, other than 5:30 to 7:30 at 570-503-6780. So again, that's at 570-503-6780. You can give me a call. Or at clukasevich@carboncounty.net. A pretty quick meeting, actually, although we did have the salary board meeting here this morning also. So I will talk about one or two of the salary board motions that were made in the discussion that took place. Again, this is Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasevich. Just taking about 10 or 15 minutes here this morning after the Commissioners meeting to kind of talk about some of the items that were on the agenda, in addition to salary board items that came up during that same time. So again, if you have a question, hey Dennis, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me. I see Shelly's also there. I thought I saw Donna also coming online, right? So again, in just a few minutes here, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. Well, thanks, Dennis. Yeah, and I am going to discuss that position, the necessary, absolutely critical position that needs to be filled down in HR. Again, my concern was the duty description, the job title duty description didn't really fit the needs. And you'll have people who are applying who really don't have the skill set, the attributes, or capacity to pick up on some very complicated tasks. Family Medical Leave Act, payroll, as two examples. Onboarding and offboarding of new personnel, that's not so challenging, but those other two are. So let me take a quick look at the agenda here, see what items popped up in regards to the Commissioners meeting. Oh, and it wasn't that I had a comment or a message sent to me here just overnight, and I will respond to that direct message. And it was regards to, what is Carbon County doing to enhance election security? And today we did approve an election agreement with Suzette Kurtz of Lehighton, and that's an agreement between the county and Ms. Kurtz to provide acceptance testing and new voting machine equipment, training, machine demonstrations, and logistics and accuracy testing procedures for the 2021 municipal elections. So we have her contracted for up to 35 hours to assist us with ensuring the functionality, accurate functionality of our voting equipment that is used here in Carbon County. And I gotta say, I did not witness any glitches with our voting equipment. Doesn't mean things might break down for a few minutes, have to be brought up online or stuff like that. But during the elections, our equipment worked quite well. Well, we might add a few other snafus, right, using the military terminology during the last general election. But from a technical software side, things actually worked pretty well, and we always had built-in redundancies of systems, be it the scanning devices or whatever, should there be a deficiency or should one occur. So that's, again, election security came up. Further business. I want to remind senior citizens, those who care for senior citizens, have family members who are senior citizens, that the Carbon County Agency on Aging has established its Facebook page. That'll be another medium platform which the Area Agency on Aging will be utilizing to get information out to the public about services that are focused or senior centric. In Pennsylvania, senior citizens age 60 and older are eligible for those senior specific programs. And again, at facebook.com/Carbon AAA is the Area Agency on Aging Facebook page. I'd encourage you to go there, like it, follow it. Again, if you have interaction regularly with seniors, you want to know where to go for senior information as it pertains to programs here in Carbon County, that's going to be the Carbon County Area Agency on Aging's Facebook page that was just stood up. Like it, follow it, help us out, let's get the word out. Muy buenos días, mi compañero, cantante y futura leyenda. Un placer para tener usted con nosotros hoy día. Estoy haciendo un repaso de la junta de esta mañana de los jefes del condado. So again, thank you for joining me. So the third item I want to talk about on the agenda is under further business. I made a motion for approval of a contract, a CoStar's contract, so that's the state contracting system, with visual sound out of Broomall, Pennsylvania, for a total of about $101,000, and that is for the purchase of an installation of all the audio-visual equipment for the new multi-purpose conference room, training room in the 44 Susquehanna Street building that is being renovated right beside Mist, right across from Woods Ice Cream or the Hooven building, kind of catty corner for that at 44 Susquehanna Street. So that's, of course, the cameras, so meetings can be live streamed. The projectors and the screens so that training can take place. Actually, down here in the annex, the courthouse, the administration building, the courthouse, or 76 Susquehanna Street, there are really no large training rooms. You might be able to get 25, 30 individuals in a conference room, max, I'm talking max, and that would be like maybe you can get 40 or so in the commissioner's conference room, but there is no room where you can do a large group of training. And again, this will be an opportunity, I have no doubt, when the public or organizations has the need for a conference room to use, I am sure we'll be able to make that available for public use also. Obviously, I would fight for that tooth and nail, right? You're paying for it, I'm paying for it. We should all get to utilize it in a responsible area. That's about $100,000, again, for the installation and purchase of the audio-visual equipment, plus a 1-year service agreement, advanced service agreement for that equipment that is being installed down there. Again, this is Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasiewicz. If you have a question, concern, issue, you can obviously always put it in the chat, or you can call me at 570-503-6780. The exclusionary zone there, 5:30 to 7:30, right? 17:30 to 19:30 hours daily, because that's when I'm with Maggie and Molly. We're doing dinner. We're getting Molly ready, or getting her bath, getting her ready for bed. And it's kind of our quality family time. But other than that, feel free to give me a shout. Also, C. Lukasevich at carboncounty.net. Is the email address you have issues or concerns, and that goes direct to me. Now, if you would email to the ccommiss at ptd.net, that's on the website, that actually goes through the front office staff, and then they forward that on to the respective commissioner for that. However, so this is the most direct route to me, that C. Lukasevich, carboncounty.net, or 570-503-6780. So, salary board. 2 items there, and we're going to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes or so, trying to look at my notes. Oh, there it is, my manila folder. That's not the orange one. All right. So you would see, and a great question was asked by Alyssa or Amy Miller. We established, let's see, that's the trainee, there's the public defender. Okay, so we changed the salary of one chief public defender from $62.4K per year to $90,000 per year. So that's a jump of about $27,600 or so. Pretty significant drop. Understand that the public defender position is part-time, plus a multitude of part-time public defenders, lawyers underneath him, in addition to full-time employees. The Board of Commissioners have been considering for some time of making the public defender position a full-time position, and that's what occurred today. But in order to offset the cost of that, and recognizing that a full-time public defender, head of that office, would be able to do more, we abolished the position of one public defender. Now, that public defender earns about $38,000 a year, plus they get all benefits. And benefits could be anywhere from $25,000, $26,000, $27,000. So abolishing that position, quote unquote, saved about $58,000 to $60,000, maybe even a little bit more, up to $65,000. So, net savings are probably about $30,000. Again, full-time public defender, taking them from 62 to 90, abolishing a position, a part-time public defender with benefits. So that is that agenda for the salary board is at carboncounty.com. You go up into the upper left, draft agendas, you'll see the salary board agenda available there if you want to see the actual documentation in regards to the motion that was made and some dollar figures there. The last one I want to talk about before we finish up here in the next couple minutes is the Human Resources Department. There's been a critical need, even pre-COVID, for an additional HR assistant. They are truly in that office, 3 individuals, overwhelmed with workman comps claims, onboarding and offboarding. The county does have quite a bit of turnover, mostly in corrections officers. 911 would be another example. Children and youth a little bit. So again, you do have a lot of onboarding and offboarding that has to take place. Creating and then you're doing workman comps claim, payroll, Family Medical Leave Act. All those take an inordinate amount of time for about 400 employees, 300 full-time, about 100 part-time. Plus, we're talking about 4 different unions, right, or collective bargaining units. 1 Teamsters, 2 ASME, and a Sheriff Association. And guess what? They all have different rules for leave, vacation, sick. It's crazy, right? They're all disjointed. So it's a very complicated payroll process every 2 weeks as they work payroll. A critical position. But what had happened is the duty description that was presented for this position was the exact same duty position for an existing position, a human resources assistant. Again, while it's great to have someone who can play all positions on the field, this requirement is really to take the burden off the existing employees who are overwhelmed with the FMLA, the payroll or onboarding, offboarding. So my position was, well, let's go ahead, continue, vote for this position today to establish, but prior to advertising, we need to modify the duty description to accurately reflect what we expect that individual to do, key essential functions or tasks, and therefore, by correcting that prior to going out for offering the position, what you have is the potential to be recruiting people who have the experience background better set already for the tasks you want them to do. Instead of simply relying on the fact that, well, we'll bring in a generalist and then we'll just OJT it for a year. Well, what I'd like to do is be a little bit more specialized. During the selection, the hiring process, advertise and interview individuals who have experience in Family Medical Leave Act, who have experience in payroll, who have experience specific to onboarding, right? The metal tasks, the mission essential task list, metal tasks, if I can borrow an Army term, that's what you want to hire for. And then all those other general tasks can be easily learned, filing, taking phone calls. HR does do the onboarding. It takes a couple hours for each one. Part of the challenge is too, Dennis, that none of the documentation is online, right? What should occur in a perfect world is, as soon as an individual is hired, right, when they've been notified they're hired, electronically that packet of electronic forms, PDF fillables, should be sent to the individual. At home, they can either fill it out online, email it back, or print it out, send it back. I prefer them to go ahead, electronically fill them out, email it back, and then they come in for a very short period of time because all the documentation is already filled out. Now, putting your mother's maiden name, who do you want on insurance, right? That could all be pre-done. So instead of 2 or 3 hours sitting across from each other, maybe you only have to spend a half hour or an hour to explain particulars or benefits. But there is something to be said for department heads owning the process. What has worked seemingly okay is a centralized onboarding process. Some corporations, entities do that, some don't. The fact is, I think there's that thought about specialization, generalization. HR folks do it every single day. They're going to do it much more efficiently. The fact is, other than some of the offices that have high turnover, you're only hiring every once in a great while. So you're never good at it, right? You're always just barely getting it. And you're wasting more time calling to HR. Can you refresh me on how to do this and that? So I think, that's something that could be considered. But I see much more efficiencies in the specialization of it and leverage technology, right? And we're not doing a good job of leveraging technology. Matter of fact, 3 licenses were bought for Adobe, plus the 3 HR folks were provided the training opportunity so they could learn how to develop PDF fillable forms. I have not seen one PDF fillable form come out of that office yet. So there's work to be done. Hey, so this is Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasiewicz. I actually have a 12:15 meeting, so I do have to cut out of here. I'm running a couple minutes late already, but nonetheless, it's my time is most importantly utilized interacting with you all, providing you an update. Again, any follow-up questions, 570-503-6780 or clukasiewicz, carboncounty.net. Again, I appreciate those who have tuned in now, those who will tune in the future. Never hesitate to message or call me. I love your input, your comments. I love to be challenged in my thoughts. If I'm not thinking straight that day, let me know. If you agree with me, let me know also. That's fine. Again, I'm here to serve the public. I'm here to serve the 64,000 residents of Carbon County. So again, and in the future, we need to talk this 2A sanctuary thing that's going around. We'll probably save that for Carbon Matters, though, when we can talk about it at depth. Okay, Chris Lukasevich, Carbon County Commissioner, have a great day. I'm ending this right here.